What's going on, Vikings fans? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, it's mailbag time, where the whole show is just me answering your guys' questions. We do this a part of our live shows. We go live every Wednesday at around 4 p.m. Central Time. So also, if you guys want to tune in, then please do so. But let's just dive right into it. Bobby Blogs, you knew this was going to be the first question. Where will Cam Skattebo get drafted? I'm going to say the Minnesota Vikings here, Bobby. So I was thinking about this, the running back spot for the Vikes. I don't think they're going to re-sign Aaron Jones. I think they will either sign a running back in free agency, but if I had to give my best bet, they are going to draft one. And I was thinking about it, like, would you rather draft Ashton Jeanty at pick 24, or would you rather get Skattebo in maybe the third or the fourth round? Maybe he goes in the second round. We'll have to see. But one thing Vikings fans should be rooting for, root for this guy to run a slow 40. It would be awesome if he ran like a 4.9. All these draft nerds are freaking out. Oh, how is he going to break away at the next level? I do not care. I would love him on the Vikes. We're going to talk about adding physicality to this team all offseason. That guy's the definition of a physical running back. So I would love it. A lot of fans are going to want their teams to draft the Arizona State running back. But, hey, give me him on the Vikings any day of the week. Card Collector, what's going on, man? Hashtag Vikings. Who do you think are we going to re-sign on defense? So, there's a lot of players set to hit free agency. You got Cam Bynum. You got Byron Murphy. Harrison Smith, actually. Even a guy like Jalen Redmond. He's not under contract for next season. But I think number one, it has to be Byron Murphy. And then if you can bring back Cam Bynum, you go do so. But I don't want the Vikings to miss out on like a Drew Dahlman or a Trey Smith, two great interior offensive linemen, to re-sign Cam Bynum. I would rather have them allocate their funds to the interior of the offensive line. But number one guy, you need to bring him back. It has to be Byron Murphy. And it kind of gets to this next question from Ryan Chip saying, do we sign a CB, re-sign Gilmore, or draft a corner? In terms of signing a CB, hopefully you bring back Byron Murphy, and then you maybe go out and get like a middle-level guy in free agency. But I don't think Gilmore will be back. The guy's going to be turning 35 years old heading into the next season. He had a good year with the Vikes, but still, when he went up against elite wide receivers, he got cooked. He can still do a number on the mid to bad wide receivers in the league, but I would assume they let Gilmore walk. Drafting a corner, I am going to be very curious to see where the Vikings go with the first-round pick. There's a lot of good corners in this draft. I don't know if they'll use that first to draft a corner, or maybe if Jeanty falls, will they use it to draft a running back? But kind of if we're drafting a CB, it just depends on what we do in free agency. Like if we only re-sign Murph and then let Gilmore walk, let Shaq Griffin walk, then we look at our cornerback room and it's just Mekhi Blackman and Byron Murphy, then you can pretty much pencil it in that they will draft a cornerback. But we're just going to have to wait and see how this plays out. Carlos, great question here. Should we sign Tevin Jenkins? I would love it. The bad thing about Tevin Jenkins, though, lengthy injury history. He has a trouble staying on the football field, but, if you could guarantee me, like, hey, Tevin Jenkins will be healthy for the next 17 games the next season, yeah, I would love him to be the guard of the Minnesota Vikings. Plus, I would love taking a Chicago Bear, have him come play for us, and then he goes and kicks his ass 2 times a season. But Tevin Jenkins, interesting guy, very talented player, had a really good year, just has some trouble staying healthy, but hey, I would definitely want the Vikings to sign Tevin Jenkins. Now, I love the answers you guys give me on this, and I had to bring it back for the offseason. Name a random Vikings player down below in the comment section. So I'm not talking to Adrian Petersons. I'm not talking to Justin Jeffersons. I want you guys to get weird. I'll go my favorite wide receiver growing up. I'll go Sidney Rice in that 1,300-yard season he had with Brett Favre back in 2009. But if you guys could, name a random Vikings player down below. Oh, Big O Beast. Oh, killing me with this question. How much longer do you think we have Harrison Smith? I think he is going to hang up the cleats this offseason, and it stinks. I was saying, somebody asked me, like, who on the Minnesota Vikings you wish could get a Super Bowl ring out of this current team, and I said Harrison Smith by far. I think he's going to hang him up. Just the way he was talking after the game, he was very emotional. Maybe he was emotional because he's going to leave the Vikings this offseason, but I could see Harrison wanting to retire a Vike. The guy's 36 years old. I think he was drafted in 2009. He has been here for a while, and he's definitely taken a step back the last couple of years. But I think he's gonna hang him up. Very, very sad, but big old beast. I appreciate the question. Skylar coming in. Minnesota should sign Isaiah Simmons to replace Harrison Smith. Isaiah Simmons, very versatile football player, can play multiple positions. He's just not the caliber of player that Harrison Smith is. I don't think you could, I don't think you could sign Isaiah Simmons to replace him. You would probably have to replace Harrison in the aggregate. There is another Notre Dame player. I'm sleeping on his name right now. Secondary guy in this draft, supposed to go late in the first round. Maybe you just have another Golden Domer replace probably one of the best Golden Domers of all time. But yeah, Harrison Smith, man, it is going to be a very sad day if I get that notification this offseason that he is going to, hang it up. But we'll dive into more questions from you guys here in a second. But first off, I do want to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Now, if you guys download the Prize Picks app today, plug in that promo code CONS, you guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, what is Prize Picks? Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Now, if you guys want to make a Timberwolves wild game more interesting, Prize Picks is the #1 way to do so. Or how about this? The big game. Monday night, Notre Dame, Ohio State. They got a great deal going on where just one Will Howard passing yard gets you a win on Prize Picks. So I'm going to take that in my lineup. Then I'm going to fade Riley Leonard and his 167.5 passing yards. Then I'm also going to go take the less on Jeremiah Smith. Great receiver, but I think Notre Dame will have all their attention heading his way. I'm going to take the less on 80.5 receiving yards for Jeremiah Smith. But fade those picks, ride with those picks. I just ask you guys do so at Prize Picks. And download that app today. Use that promo code CONS. Get $50 instantly after you put your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CONS to get $50 instantly after you put your first $5 lineup. Shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Run your game. Deep Blue G. Great question here because I just got a new report on Flores saying, #Vikings, will Flores stay with the Vikes? So Jordan Schultz, as we're recording this on Wednesday, just tweeted out saying defense coordinator Brian Flores will interview with the Jets and Jags on Friday and the Bears on Saturday. So we knew he was interviewing with these teams. We just didn't know when, but it's looking like this weekend he will knock out all of those interviews. I'm going to say he does stay with the Vikes. If I had to go my head coach predictions here, I'm going to go Ben Johnson still goes to the Bears. And I think I'll go Mike McCarthy goes to the Saints. And then Aaron Glenn goes to the Jets. That is like the wishful thinking from my side on how Flores stays with the Vikes. But, let's just say Aaron Glenn goes to the Saints. I could see Flores going to the Jets. And then let's just say the Bears whiff on all of their top candidates. Then maybe he could go to Chicago. He was teammates with Ryan Poles back in college. But Deep Blue G, no real good answer for you on that. I'm just hoping he does stay. Jane saying, should the Vikings sign a whole new line besides O'Neal and Darius? 100%, Jane. You just can't roll out with J.J. McCarthy next season, Blake Brandel, Garrett Bradbury, and Dalton Risner. It just can't happen. Because what made J.J. so successful at Michigan? He had that run game. He had that physical offense. And then when he was asked in 3rd and long situations, coming off play action, he was incredibly successful. But at least the good thing about the Vikes is you have your tackles solidified for the next couple of years, especially in Darisaw. I mean, I think Darisaw in the next 3 seasons, we'll be talking about him, hopefully recovers well from that torn ACL and MCL. But, he's the best left tackle in the league. Brian O'Neal, he's just been consistent, always have been, around the 8th to 9th best right tackle in the league. So, hopefully the Vikes can get some new guys there. Drew Dahlman. That's going to be our center we're going to talk about this whole offseason. Hopefully the Vikes can swing him to Minnesota. Skyler coming in. #Vikings. Sign Caleb Farley to a vet min. I would take a chance on it. I believe Caleb Farley was a first-round pick of the Titans. I'll tell you what, that would be very on brand for Kwesi. He loves taking former first-round picks. They don't work out with their team, and then you bring them to Minnesota. He has a resurgence here. So Caleb Farley, I would love to take the chance on him. So Skyler, appreciate you. Bobby Blogs, great name, saying #Vikings. If Flores leaves, who do you want our DC to be? So I've been asked about this a lot. you guys are going to freak out. I guarantee you it would be Brandon Staley. Former head coach for the Los Angeles Chargers. Kevin O'Connell and him are best friends. Like, not just friends, they are best friends. I promise you, KOC's first call, if we lose Flores, will be to Brandon Staley. I could also see Lou Anarumo, maybe a Dennis Allen, maybe a Robert Saleh, but I would love to take, maybe one of these former head coaches like Dennis Allen, Saleh, plug them in as the defensive coordinator, because they're still, maybe they're not great head coaches, but they're great coordinators. So, Bobby, if I had to call it, I'm going to say Brandon Staley. Vikings fan saying, do you still believe KOC is only a good head coach, or were you just in a bad mood? Oh, yeah, when I was saying, yeah, KOC is a good coach, I don't know if he's a great coach. I will still stand by that. I think he's a very good coach. Is he a great coach? I don't know. He hasn't won a playoff game yet. I'm not just going to, say he is the next Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, when he doesn't have a playoff win in the first 3 games. Obviously, I was getting very reactionary after the game. I was upset with Kevin O'Connell. But, yes, he is still a very good coach. He's top 5, top 7 in the league. I still believe it. It's just, is he on the level of a Sean McVay, of a Kyle Shanahan? I have no idea yet. We'll find that out over the next couple of years. But I will say this. If he doesn't make J.J. McCarthy work, and we use 3 to 4 years, and we don't win a playoff game, and we just really struggle, I mean, then we'll probably find out how truly good Kevin O'Connell is. But we'll have to wait and see. Garrett saying, how much money do you think the Vikings will spend this offseason? I think they're going to spend it all. I think this has been the plan, where it's like, we spent a decent amount last year. Now we're going to spend a lot this season. And then it's like, all right, we got our guys for the next 2 to 3 seasons. We can go on this run with J.J. McCarthy. If you look at all the way the contracts are set up, like they're truly set up to have a rookie quarterback in there. They just can't afford to pay Darnold too. They would completely, limit their ceiling on how good they can make this roster. I think they're going to be very aggressive this offseason. They got $78 million to spend. Probably going to spend at least 60 of that. At least I would assume so. But, we'll have to wait and see how Kwesi plays it. But if you guys made it to the end, you guys know what to do. Give me a skull down below in the comments section. Off season is here, so we appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. And also, how about this? No, I like that. Type skull if you guys also hit that thumbs up icon as well. And also give me a follow on Twitter. Handle is @PatSieps. Give me a follow over there. I'll give you guys a follow right back. See you guys next time. As always, Skol Vikes.